What is up, y'all? It's your girl, Brand New, and honey, I am back in the building. Listen, this time, honey, I am back without a microphone. So make sure you have on some headphones, honey, but I'm coming through with no microphone because that will just make all of this a lot easier. Okay, I have ordered some new microphones, but I noticed, some of these microphones, honey, are hit and miss, and I ain't about to be refilming a damn thing, okay? Okay, so anyways, you guys, I'm not feeling that good, but a promise is a promise. So I am here to talk about Ready to Love, Make a Move. This is the one where they was in NOLA. Okay, so I went to my community tab where I asked you all, who was your favorite on Ready to Love, Make a Move, NOLA? Okay, so the women, we have Sharice has 12%, Zadia has 12%, so they were your least favorite. Ashley has 21%, Vernisha has 55%, so Vernisha was the most likable. My favorite was Zadia. I saw a lot of myself inside of Zadia. I thought she was so beautiful. She could pull off any hairstyle, any outfit. I love several of her tops, honey. She just looked so beautiful. She's from Atlanta, but she lives in Washington, D.C. I remember I visited D.C. when I think I told you guys about this back in the 8th grade. It was like some type of trip that the 8th graders take, honey. So I remember that, honey. And I like D.C. Even from back then. I haven't been back since, but I liked it. So Zadia was my favorite. I would have to say Vernisha was my second favorite. Let me look at what I thought about Vernisha. I thought she was nurturing, hardworking, authentic, laid back, calm, but no nonsense. She was a salon owner. I really liked Vernisha's energy. She had a very sweet energy, and she seemed to have chemistry with every guy she went on a date with. They all just naturally liked her. So I felt like she had a really good disposition. When I first saw Ashley, you guys, I felt like Ashley was a bit of a pick-me. Ashley was just too much. The nails, Ashley, way too long out on the dates. Her nails, I don't know, her nails, in my opinion, I know some of y'all may feel like I'm being real judgmental when I say this, but it says I'm unavailable. They were just way too long, way too big. That is just way too ghetto. I was looking at the host, which is Tamika Lee. She was their matchmaker. Her nails, nice and classy, like just a nice length. I didn't see that with Zadia, Sharice, or Vernisha. I didn't see them long nails. Like, child, I would be scared to date Ashley, but Ashley was very beautiful as well. Y'all remember she used to date Alex from Ready to Love. I heard that he did her really bad, and y'all remember he had got sick and she was by his bedside and they thought he was about to die, honey. But yeah, he had lied about a whole bunch of stuff. I said, oh child, no good nigga. Okay. I didn't like, how he did Ashley. I felt like Ashley was very aggressive out on her dates, and it's cool, in my opinion, to be excited about who you're dating, but to me, it was just too much sometimes. I wish she would have had more of Zadia's disposition, and I know some people will say, well, Zadia was kind of boring, and Ashley grew on me as the show progressed. I began to see, her aggressive energy as just her being fun, her being bubbly, her being relatable, so it kind of transformed into that, but I'm just saying, at first glance, you guys, as I watched a few episodes, I was like, she's too much. It's like, and what I mean by that is sometimes some people's personality, it could take over with whoever they are dating or hanging out with. And then when your personality is too much and you're being too loud, you're not listening. You're not seeing the red flags. And I think that has gotten Ashley into trouble in her past, because it's just like, in the past, I guess people treated her badly, and she doesn't want that to happen again, and she wants to put herself first and make sure that, she's really looking out for herself. She don't want to overly give too many chances to people. And I get that, but Ashley, people may do you the way that they do you because of how you are coming off. So you're going to need to tone it down some and shorten them damn nails. I don't know why that matchmaker didn't tell her about them damn claws she had. I also felt like Ashley was, overly animated. But like I said, you guys, Ashley grew on me, and I do like her. I think she's beautiful. She's fun. She's down to earth. She also at times looked a bit insecure. She kept mentioning Zadia's name, while she was out on a date with, I think, Kirsten. Kirsten picked up on it. It's like, girl, you letting your insecurities take over. But I think it made Ashley uncomfortable that her and her friends, especially Zadia, she's the closest to her, that made her uncomfortable that they was dating the same guy. So I kind of get that. But yeah. Okay, so let's get into Tamika Lee. She was their matchmaker. I felt like she was very beautiful and attractive, very classy woman. She's been in this business for a while as a matchmaker. She's married has 2 kids. She's been married for 16 years. You know, I like that they had a woman to guide them and to lead them. I feel like when all of them are on that show together, Tommy can't keep up with all them people, the men and the women's. And, you know, I love that they had like this female version of a host, of a matchmaker. I really like that. I like this better than the Ready to Love series in general, honey. Okay, I can't even get the words out. I just like this a lot better. Because I had stopped watching Ready to Love, you guys. I didn't feel like these people was ready to love. I felt like they was ready to screw. Okay, ready to have sex, ready to hold something. Okay, that's what I thought. But that's because I am very serious about stuff. Like I want people to really find love, really find people that compliment them. And I felt like this show just really surprised me. It made me start to like the Ready to Love series again. But yeah, I just really like this. It was all the women, and you know, they had a female matchmaker leading them, and I really loved all of that. So yeah, I'm gonna start back watching Ready to Love. But honey, at first Miss Robinson felt like Ready to Love had some pee, had some poop. Okay, like after how Mario did Tandy on that Ready to Love and switched sides and went over there to what's her name, Reva. Okay, like the way he did that, I was like, ugh, I was so turned off from the show. So for me to see this show, I'm so happy I gave it a chance because it didn't disappoint. And, you know, it just was fun to see people getting to know people and everybody, you know, genuinely looking for love. I feel like when the men are around and they are a part of the process, I feel like I don't know, they're too much of a distraction. I like to see all of this from the woman's point of view. Is it always from the woman's point of view? I just feel like on Ready to Love, it'd be way too many people. And I like how they did this, if you understand what I'm saying. I like that it was smaller. It was just, you know, about 4 or 5 women, you know, coming together from their different perspective cities of Ready to Love and, you know, coming to give love a chance again. So I just really like that. And I really need to get to New Orleans, honey, as soon as possible. Okay, so we got Miss Charisse. Charisse was my least favorite of all the women. She just seemed like she had an attitude. She was giving me a fake ass generic version of Evelyn Lozada. I feel like Evelyn is way prettier. All the men kept saying, "Oh, you're so beautiful." I was looking around like, who the hell they talking to? They talking to her? She aight, you know. And don't get me wrong, Charisse is definitely attractive. I just didn't feel like she was as pretty as some of them damn men was saying. Cause I'm like, my girl Zadia is bad, and Vernisha too. Okay, and Vernisha, she is just so beautiful. That Vernisha, you guys can wear her hair any kind of way, and she is just gonna look so beautiful, so put together. I loved all her ponytails. But yeah, Charisse just seemed like she had a nasty-ass attitude, nasty-ass disposition. It was like she was trying to cover it up, but it just still stood out like a sore thumb. She butted heads with Zadia. I felt like that was so unnecessary, but we gonna get to it. She looked bored on her date with Maurice. I felt like he was cute, but he was stiff. He didn't seem interesting. He wasn't leading, okay? Like, child, I thought they said that the men should lead, but Maurice was just there. It was kind of like, bitch, you excited to be out with me? You're not the prize with guys like Maurice, so no. I didn't really care for Maurice like that. He didn't really engage with Charisse. Like, I feel like on a date, a man should be asking you questions, showing interest, you know, just being a gentleman and being in the moment and being down to earth. To me, he was coming off like very, I don't know, like he was stuck on himself. Like, yeah, you know, and then he got to telling her later on, I'm not worried about none of the other guys. And he was just too cool for school. And I was so glad when she sent his ass on his way. I do think she ended up with him, but we'll get to that. And I'm only going to talk about you guys the first 5 episodes, and then I will do the next batch of episodes. I don't want to overwhelm myself, okay? He got to saying, Maurice, he got to saying that he was a social butterfly. I'm like, bitch, where? You're not talking, you're not engaged, you don't seem like you fun, it don't seem like you go out to the club. Like, child, stop lying to us. He had brought her some roses, so that was sweet. But yeah, like, Charisse was like, baby, I need a little bit more, okay? Okay, so we got Vernisha. Like I said, she was laid back, calm, no nonsense. She's the salon owner. She went out with Jabari, who was a program analyst. He used to be a playboy, but now he's a father. You know, he's a 9-to-5 type of guy. She's more of an entrepreneur. There's no cap on her income, but there is a cap, honey, on his income. To me, Jabari kind of came off as controlling. I really saw it once the friends came into play, but we gonna get to that. So Charisse ended up getting mad that Zadia wanted to invite a guy to the house. The next morning, Charisse had to get up and open the door for Zadia. She woke her up out of her sleep, and Zadia didn't apologize. You know, she claimed she got locked out after going for a walk. Now, Zadia, girl, why did you lie about that? Now, she didn't admit it to Mika that she was really out with Cam and they had really went out on a date. So I was like, why is Zadia lying? Okay, you ain't got to lie to kick it. I felt like all of this, though, was on Sharice because I feel like if you really feel like, oh, well, she woke you up about your sleep, if you feel like she inconvenienced you, you should have just came out, Sharice, and said that to her. And I believe Zadia told her that, like, when you opened the door, you should have been like, oh, well, girl, you woke me up. Next time, do it like this, yada, 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 you know? So I was with Zadia when it came to that. I feel like Sharice is one of those women where she just needs something to be mad at. And I felt like that's, you know, that's what she was doing with Zadia. But yeah, I felt like it was messed up because Sharice began talking to Cameron, you know, trying to get under Zadia's skin. Cameron didn't want to talk about his past relationships with Zadia. Zadia broke things off with Jabari because he really liked Bernicia. Sharice had no chemistry with Antonio. He was too young. She ended up keeping Maurice. Bernicia sent Raymond home and she kept Jabari. Zadia and Sharice, they end up talking about, you know, their experience with Cameron, and he's really cool, and, you know, he's hardworking, he's ambitious. Sharice and Zadia began arguing, and it's just like, Sharice, you are way older than Zadia, and you are so, like, petty. Like I told y'all, she was only trying to engage with Cameron because she knows that he was Zadia's top pick. So it's just like, girl, you petty, okay? Sharice says that she doesn't think that Zadia is self-aware. She feels like Zadia is a mean girl. Bernicia just wants everybody to get along. So then they all ended up dating the same guy. So Kirsten goes out with Ashley. I liked Kirsten. I felt like he was nice looking. But it was something about him that I picked up on from the time I seen him on my screen. I don't know, just seemed very arrogant, very pompous, very overly confident, you know. He was silly. He was funny. He had a certain swag to him. You know, you got to give him that. But I felt like Ashley was just very superficial with him at first. It was, damn, he just so fine and he just this. And, you know, she kept telling him that, ladies, that's a no-no. I don't care how fine a man is. Do not overly tell them. You could say, oh, you look nice. And I would just keep it at that. I wouldn't keep telling him how fine he is because then he's going to feel like he's the prize. Okay, he going to feel like he doing you a favor. And how did Kirsten end up treating Ashley? Like he was doing her a favor, honey. And that ain't what you want. But yeah, Ashley was kind of acting like a pick-me over Kirsten. Kirsten went out on a date with Zadia, and he kept telling her how attractive she was. And do you notice that? How he gave that energy to Zadia, but when he was over there with Ashley, he wasn't giving her that type of energy. She was doing that. So a lot of times, ladies, you end up doing that with a man, telling him how fine he is, and he telling another woman how fine she is. He ain't even returning a compliment. Okay, that's why that's a no-no. Kirsten mentioned that he's the baby on both sides, I guess, of his family. Ashley gets to talking about she's scared of childbirth. Zadia doesn't want kids right now, but when she does have them, honey, she's going to need a good nip and tuck. I know that's right, sis. Kirsten ends up saying he found his date with Ashley more fun and engaging than with his date with Zadia. He felt like Ashley, you know, had more energy, and yeah, they were laughing and joking, having a good time. But look at how he ended up doing her. Okay, just look at it. So Bernicia and Sharice, they go out with Walter. Walter used to write for Jeezy and T-Pain. I was like, okay, Walter. I guess Walter was married at one point for 19 years. I'm like, damn, what happened to make y'all break up? You know, but that is good when a man is married for a long time because that says he knows how to commit, okay? That is always a plus. But I'm just curious to know what the hell broke y'all up. 19 years, damn. Bernicia, she mentioned she doesn't mind moving to New Orleans for her man. And honey, I feel Bernicia on getting with a man that can cook. Ladies, getting with a man that has a certain skill set is good for your life. It's going to make it easier. You don't want to get with these men where you got to cook and clean and then they act like they damn hands and brain is broke and child. So yeah, I used to have me some men, honey, that knew how to cook a good breakfast. Okay, I had one of my exes, he cooked for, matter of fact, the guy I showed y'all in the picture. He cooked for one of my mom's birthday parties. Honey, them women love his spaghetti, honey. They was like, yes, he fine, and he makes spaghetti. I said, hell yeah. And he fried them some fish, child. That man can cook. He used to love my mother's food, too. He would be at the house asking her to make him certain stuff. I thought that was funny. But, yeah, you want a man that can fix cars and somebody with a skill set, not just somebody that don't know how to do nothing. I've been with that type of guy. Don't cook, don't know how to barbecue, but want to gossip and be up in bullshiggity. Okay, if you don't get your ass up out of here, you could be reading a damn book. Okay, get a man that can read. Okay, get an intellectual man, honey. But yeah, always try to have somebody with some sort of skill set. I remember, honey, I had one of my men. He knew how to fix a car. So, honey, he would work on my car. Okay, that's what you need in your life. Okay, because the man gonna give you a headache. He might as well come with a skill set that help with him being a headache. Okay, I'm just saying. Sharice and Maurice, they go on a picnic, and he was just so boring the whole time, just looking at her, looking away. I would have been bored. I feel like Maurice, he needs to show more interest, but a lot of guys are arrogant and cocky like that. They don't feel like they have to put in any work. They feel like, yeah, we just naturally having a good time, but you're not asking me any questions. A man that's asking me questions about myself, how I live my life, how did I get to the point that I am right now, that lets me know he finds me interesting. And, that's how it should be. It shouldn't be all this weird, awkward silence and child. Get up out of here, Maurice. Ashley tells Zadia she has a lot of chemistry with Kirsten. Zadia has a conversation with Sharice. Zadia apologized for waking Sharice up. Sharice doesn't like that Zadia lied, and Zadia feels like Sharice is a snake. And I am team Zadia. I get where Sharice is coming from. You woke me up out of my sleep. But Sharice, you should have told her that instead of, I'm going to catch an attitude about it. And, I'm going to hold that against you. I told you, I got that vibe from Sharice. Like she's one of those women that just want to be mad about something. And it's not attractive. So Zadia and Ashley, they double date with Cam and Donald. Ashley hasn't heard from Donald in a few days. Donald, on the other hand, said he been texting Ashley, but she didn't respond. Nigga, like, what is you doing? So Zadia is feeling Cam. Donald says he's more of a in-person type of guy. He likes to he comes alive more when you spend time with him. He don't like all that being on the phone and texting, but you should have communicated that with Ashley, okay? So Ashley gets to telling Donald she didn't get his text, and Donald says he should have called. Vernisha and Jabari, they go out on their date. Vernisha tells Jabari about her date with Walter. Vernisha tells Jabari that she wants a man that's a provider that doesn't have a cap on his income. Jabari says he has a cap on his income. They play pool, and I put, he seems controlling. Yeah, you may be making more money than a man like him, and, you could just tell he one of them old school men, that I don't care for, that, yeah, you need to turn that off. I don't need to turn shit off. Are you paying all the bills? Like, child, get out of here. Okay? Yeah, but I'm the man in the house. I don't like all that type of talk shit. You ain't got to announce shit to me. Just do it. Just, the more they talk, the more toxic it is. The more you want to control everything. And, yeah, you could get with people and make certain compromises. But let's be honest. Some of these men want you to compromise and sacrifice yourself for them. And it's not worth it. What are you getting out of it? She's an entrepreneur. You're a 9-to-5er. Y'all live two different lifestyles. So to me, he would make her compromise and sacrifice herself more than what he's willing to do. And her friend picked up on that. And I'm glad they went out with the friend. So they met with the host to discuss their dates. They have to keep a man and let another man go. Zadia keeps Cam. And Sharice tells Maurice he's too quiet on the dates they go on. Vernisha keeps Jabari around. Sharice keeps Maurice around. So then Walter goes home. Ashley talks to Don, and she's all over the place. She starts crying because she really likes him. Ashley, on the other hand, she felt like Don had been playing with her. To me, he's not a good match for her because he's way too laid back, but he can balance, sometimes opposites do attract. Maybe he can balance her out because Ashley be doing a little bit too much. So, it could be good and bad for her, but I say it's bad because, you shouldn't have to tell a man, hey, I need you to text me. I need you to call me. Be engaging. You have to take the lead, men. Okay? And a woman shouldn't have to tell you that. Because once a woman got to keep telling you certain stuff, she going to get annoyed with you, shut down, and, she ain't going to want to be bothered. So Ashley feels like in her past, she has made excuses for how people have treated her. And that's why she ends up sending Don home, because she doesn't want to make that mistake again. And I really like that lesson that Ashley, she's had to learn. And I like that she explained it. And, the host was really supportive of her. And I understand, how important it was for Ashley to take a stand. No, in the past, I've been very passive. I didn't want to start no trouble. I didn't want to rock the boat. But now it's all about me, what I want. I want to be treated the best possible way. So Ashley has a talk with Tamika the matchmaker about how Ashley has to start standing up for herself. Tamika tells her to love herself and to never settle, and she will find the man that she's looking for. So Bernicia, she ends up going out with Gary. Gary is an influencer, and he's in the transportation business. And I was like, yeah, he may be a match for Bernicia because, he's an entrepreneur, so he's going to understand her schedule. So Bernicia likes that he's an entrepreneur. Charisse opens up to Zadia about how she was bullied in the past, and they ended up settling their differences. I was like, finally, Charisse, because you are too old to be that petty, okay? But I'm glad that they ended up working out their differences. So Ramon and Zadia, they go out, they play pool. I feel like Ramon is handsome. He's a former basketball player. I like the chemistry they had and their conversation. Ashley goes out with Justin. He's a hospitality director, but he seems like a mama's boy. Justin asks for Ashley's phone number. Charisse goes out with Keith. He's 50 and a barber. He was engaged but never married. Jabari tries to get Bernicia to lock down on him. He's like, girl, you the one for me. I don't really want to get to know anybody else. Bernicia, on the other hand, tells him he needs to explore his options. Zadia and Cam, they go and make some glass art. Zadia wants a generous man, a provider, and Cam wants her to live the soft life. I was like, ooh, child, that's music to my ears. Ashley and Kirsten go to a mixology class. In my opinion, Ashley is too caught up with how Kirsten looks. She's constantly bringing it up. Ladies, you cannot get caught up with how fine a guy is. That is how you sabotage yourself. You skip over all the red flags because he's so fine. Okay? And if he's fine, you may want to hit it. Or, if you that type of girl, and go on about your business. But you can't be so, yeah, but he's so fine, and I'm going to forgive all this little stuff that he do because he's so fine. And I was like, ooh, Ashley, I'm worried about you when it comes to Kirsten because I saw it coming, you guys. So Ashley brings up Kirsten's date with Zadia, and Kirsten is kind of annoyed. You could tell, she's coming off like she's insecure. Kirsten tells her he had a better time with her than Zadia, and Kirsten feels like Ashley keeps unnecessarily bringing up Zadia's name. He's like, this is about me and you. Yes, we have to date other people, but you don't have to keep mentioning homegirl's name. So yeah, you could definitely tell that Ashley is, feeling insecure. Ashley began asking if she would keep Kirsten around. In my opinion, Ashley began acting controlling, and a lot of women get like that when they are insecure. They feel like they have to hurry up and try to control, every little thing about the guy, and it's like, girl, you making yourself look suspicious. You look like you up to something, so, just relax, Ashley, okay? But Ashley is afraid of making the same mistake twice, right? So we get it. Ashley wants to make sure that Kirsten is there for her and wants a serious connection. She sees that he's dating the other women, but, she don't want him to be so caught up with dating the other women that he forget about her. And, they supposed to be seriously connecting, right? So next we see Charisse. She tells Maurice he has been consistent. Maurice says he's not worried about the competition. I'm like, yeah, you too overly confident and you cocky. And when a man acts like that, ladies, he's not present with you. He feels like, I already won. I already got this in the bag. And honey, I'm glad she ended up sending that fool on his way. That's what you want to do with those types, because they're not really, putting in the work to, make things work out with you, right? So all four keepers will be joining the ladies at a mixer. So Tamika tells Kirsten to tell Ashley that he enjoys her. Okay. And Kirsten was like withholding that information. I felt like that was a red flag. And men will withhold how they feel about you, just so they can have the upper hand on the situation. That way, they can have you feeling confused. And I told y'all, God is not the author of confusion. Okay, so I felt like that was one big red flag. Kirsten gave off a lot of red flags. So Bernicia, she decides to keep Jabari. Zadia, she keeps Cam and gets rid of Ramon. Kirsten tells Ashley she's crazy. Ashley cuts Kirsten off while he was talking, and Kirsten kind of looked at her kind of funny, but she adores him and just wonders if, if she's his number one pick the way, he is for her, so she just like, dang, how does he feel about me? Because I really like him. He my number one. Kirsten got the swag. He looked good. They have a good time together. He makes her laugh. He's showing, and this is how women end up falling for guys like Kirsten, because they look good, and then he's leading. He's asking you questions. He's laughing with you. He's being engaging, right? The opposite of what Maurice is over there doing. So Ashley keeps Kirsten. So we have Zadia and we have Cam. I feel like Cam was, a good match for Zadia. I feel like they have a lot of chemistry. They look good together. They enjoy each other. The conversation naturally flowed. They seem to, just have a really good chemistry with them. But I didn't like how Cam began to act. I don't know, he began acting ambiguous with Zadia, and he would act like he was there for her, like, yeah, I really want to do this thing, and then it's like, yeah, but, it was like, it started to be, yeah, but, and then it was getting on Zadia's damn nerves, and I was just like, we gonna get to it, though, you guys, we gonna get to it, but yeah, he began, when a man do that, where, he looks good, he's coming off as consistent, and all this, that, and the other, but he starts, but, I'm not willing to move, but I'm not willing to meet you halfway, but, work, and I'm so busy, and, because Cam began saying all that, and it's just like, yep, you need to send his ass on. Waste of time. Okay, some of these guys was showing these ladies they was gonna be a waste of time. So Charisse feels like Maurice is not pursuing her. He's too comfortable. She cuts off Maurice. Ashley cooks for the ladies. She does a crab boil and serves them jambalaya. So Tamika invites the old Ready to Love friends from the ladies' perspective shows that they were on. Zadia and Camille, they meet Zadia's date, Cam, in a restaurant. Cam, he's a doctor, very ambitious. He wants his businesses and investments to work for him. That way he can, spend that quality time with Zadia, since that's so important to her. But Cam, check this out, wants Zadia to be open to the South. He don't want to, he don't want to meet her halfway and move if he has to. That's a red flag. That's somebody that wants you to overly compromise and sacrifice yourself. And why would you do that? Okay. Jabari and Bernicia, they go out with her friend Liz. It's a red flag that Jabari said Bernicia needs to turn off being a boss. Like I told y'all before, he seems very controlling, very old school. Like, if you go act like that, nigga, I'm gonna need you to pay all the bills like Dr. G did over there down to the Married to Medicine with Quad. Like, that's the only way, ladies, you are ever to get in those type of situations. And then you need to still have your own money if he's paying all the bills. But yeah, I don't think he is a good match for Bernicia. In my opinion, it's not going to work because they live two different lifestyles. He's a 9-to-5er and she is an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs, oftentimes, they work 24/7, and there's like no cap on, when your workday is over. And, Jabari, he don't like that because he said he in the bed about 9, 10 o'clock at night. So he want his woman in the bed with him. It's just not going to be a match. So Charisse and her male friend, they go out on a date. Keith. So he said he went on a solo trip to Dallas, and Charisse is just like, that ain't really all that far, that ain't really nowhere. So she's not really impressed with him. Ashley goes out on her date with her friend Stormy and Kirsten, and the girl Stormy, they ended up like flirting the whole damn date. Kirsten, it keeps complimenting Stormy, telling her how beautiful she is. I'm like, Ashley, are you going to speak up and say something? Ashley felt like Stormy had her titties out. Stormy was there, to date Kirsten, her damn self. She didn't really feel like she was being a friend to her. And I felt like they were very much so like disrespecting Ashley. Like, Kirsten, you was there to date Ashley. Once again, he was not, he wasn't asking Ashley any questions about herself. He's asking Stormy questions like he's into her. I was like, child, if you don't get up out of here, okay? So Ashley ends up getting up away from the table. She didn't like storm off, but they didn't even seem, I don't know, they didn't pick up on the cues that she was upset. Yes, she should have told them, but they really just, I don't know, it seemed like they was feeling each other, you guys, and it's like, damn, do y'all even notice that Ashley walked up and left the table? Okay. So you can hear Ashley in the background kind of talking to the producer, telling the producer that she felt like Stormy is there for herself. It certainly came off that way. I was like, ooh, child. And it seemed like Kirsten was feeling Stormy more than Ashley, asking her all these questions and stuff. So Zadia goes out on a date with Dylan. He's a teacher. He was boring. Dylan, he's very unsettled in Zadia's eyes. I guess he's like back and forth in two different places, two different states, child. Dylan mentioned he would take Zadia to a art gallery, as a date. Zadia is not feeling him. She's comparing him to Cameron. Charisse goes out on a date with Mizell. I looked at Mizell like, he fine as hell. Ooh, child, Zaddy, honey, yes. Yes, he an older man, honey. Okay, I noticed he kept licking his lips. What's up with you older men licking y'all lips? Okay, I got something for you to lick on. I know y'all like, Miss Robinson, you so nasty. But I'm just saying, I know a whole bunch of little old buzzards, honey. They always licking their lips, and damn, you about to eat something? Okay. But he was fine, nice teeth, but he ended up being a sneaky snake. We gonna get off into that once we get to episode 6. But yeah, he was fine as hell. They go dancing. Charisse is really feeling him. He called her gorgeous. I was like, where? Because she looked, I don't know, she looked old in the face. Okay, I think she's a cute woman, but gorgeous, that's a stretch. Okay, I mean, I'm just saying. Okay. So Tabari goes out on a date with Bernicia. Now, Bernicia is already seeing Jabari. Now she's out on a date with Tabari. Okay, so she was like, child, there's something about them Baris, honey, that like me. I like Tabari. He seems to have a very good energy about himself. Seems to be more accommodating towards Bernicia than Jabari, the controller. Ashley goes out with Box. He does have a box-shaped head. They paint pictures. Bernicia and Tabari were like in a lab smelling different scents. Like maybe they was making their own scents. Tabari is an entrepreneur, and to me, he seemed more aligned with Bernicia than Jabari, because y'all know Jabari worked at 9 to 5 and wants you to be in the bed at 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. like him. So yeah, get up out of here. Tabari is silly to Bernicia, but he's a man's man. The ladies meet with Tamika and tell her about their dates that they had when their friend accompanied them on the date. Camille doesn't like Cam for Zadia because he's so busy and ambitious. Zadia is ignoring the red flags, okay? She is. Bernicia, her friend Liz, likes Jabari because he's down to earth, but she doesn't feel like he's willing to compromise, and he's too much of a homebody. Bernicia likes to be out here in these streets, honey. She's very outgoing. Cherie's friend says Keith was a nice guy, nice, chill, and calm, but he feels like he's too much of a homebody. Cherie likes to travel. Ashley speaks on her date with Kirsten and her friend, and she tells Tamika her friend took over her date. She felt like her friend was overdressed and, underdressed, had her titties out, and she was flirting with Kirsten the whole time. And it did look like her friend was there for herself and not there to offer Ashley any assistance, any advice. She didn't tell Ashley, well, ask him this, and, what's your plans for the future? How many kids do you want to have? Are you willing to move, to where Ashley is to make a love connection? Like, she didn't do any of that. She was just, seemed like she was asking him questions for herself. Okay, I said what I said. It looked like, that's what it looked like to me, honey. But yeah, that's all honey Miss Robinson got to say about all of this. I will be back with the second part of Ready to Love, Make a Move, No Love, in the next video. Don't forget, you guys, to like, comment, and subscribe. I am your girl, brand new, and I will check you guys out in the next video.